But let's move on to the main event. It's great to see because they deserve it and everybody loves them. The Acclaimed in the main event of Dynamite. These guys are main event guys and everybody loves them. So we know it. Everyone else knows it. Dynamite Download are a huge fan of the Acclaimed. They had an amazing, obviously, diss track that we saw. They had an amazing vignette to start, followed by an amazing promo. It's like, boom, hit after hit after hit after hit. And these guys are just clicking. And say it, Crayfish. We know it. They're checking those boxes one after another. And these guys are deserving. They were the number one ranked tag team going into this match. Right away, they put on a whooping to Darby Allin. And I loved how Bowens was like,
Woo!
welcome to the Black Parade. Beat. And, we don't want to swear with the chair.
Hilarious.
That was her.
My Chemical Romance goth phase.
Yep.
Loved it.
Man, this was, and then Sting actually showing the stamina to go toe to toe with these guys. A 2-on-1 semi-handicap match for most of this match. The Acclaimed are just, I think I was more, Darby and Sting are doing fantastic stuff. Sting, the icon, Darby, the true underdog story, easy to root for. But to me, I was most intrigued by the Acclaimed in this match. Main eventing and watching their growth as a team. Watching their growth as individual performers, eating it up with the crowd. My eyes were glued to them versus Sting, who I was for Halloween one year, and Darby Allin, who's the reckless crash test dummy is fun to watch here and there. But the Acclaimed just carry themselves so well.
Yeah, I'm with Bobby, man. I would love to see the Acclaimed get a title shot.
They deserve it.
I mean, they unfortunately losing tonight's match isn't going to help them in the rankings at all. Sting and Darby still remain undefeated as a tag team. Kind of being forgotten about how those guys are just racking up W's together. But man, honestly, I'm the Acclaimed. This was a big match for them, and in the main event, they delivered. I mean, it was like the pre-match beatdown of Darby. I loved, like you talked about, the shenanigans that they were able to pull, sending Darby out, using the chair as effectively as they did. The thing about Max and Bowens is that they're solid in ring. I'm not. No one's ever going to say, that these two guys are the next Rockers.
Lucha Brothers.
They know what they're good at in the ring. They're not the next Lucha Brothers. It's a great comparison, right? They're not going to be blowing you away with flips and all sorts of crazy stuff like that that's going to drop your jaws, but they're great pro wrestlers. They're great at they're very good. And I know that this is something that you've gotten starting to fall in love with them about is they're being able to tell their emotions, like they're acting, their emotions on their face, the way they interact with the crowd. They're really great at that, at drawing you into their matches and playing off, like they're always on. And I think that they're
showmen.
They're great showmen, and it's evident that when you can go with these guys, I mean, honestly, half this match was them 2-on-1, the Acclaim versus Sting, and you got to give it to these guys for being able to go with Sting and keep that match flowing as well as it did. When a 2-on-1, a lot of times can make it. You're either gonna dominate that in that scenario or lose convincingly, and it can sometimes go off the rails when you go in that scenario. A match could go off the rails in that scenario, but I thought that they kept this one going. The main event really clicked. Darby's heroic comeback worked perfectly.
Yeah, it did.
And I props to the Acclaim for, they put him over. They put the Stinger and Darby over. I think where do Darby? Do you feel Sting and Darby get a title shot anytime soon? Because it feels like these guys they're undefeated. I mean, where did they rank in the tag division to you? They just beat the number one team.
Well, you just saw the Gun Club being undefeated for how many months or even all year, and they weren't even ranked in the top 5. So is it one of those, like, asterisks where like, they don't fight enough, so they're not ranked. I don't know. It's weird like that. And so the ranking system has got some kind of weird, parlays and different like things that don't make sense. But you're talking about before I answer that, it kind of clicked, as we were talking throughout the show, the Acclaimed being such showmans. And they're not the Lucha Brothers, not the Young Bucks with in-ring stuff. They still have a ton of skill, but it reminds me of
Yes.
one of my favorite tag teams of all time, the New Age Outlaws. Talk
Yeah.
about showmanship.
Yep.
Talk about on the mic. The stuff
You're
that they can
right.
do is carry
You're
in the
right.
ring. Like it really
Great
reminds me of the New
comparison.
Age Outlaws because they could just like they were not the most amazing in the ring, but their tandem offense, their spots, and their sayings, and the stuff they can do and carry themselves on the mic, and just the
That's a
swagger they carry.
great call by you.
I love
Yes.
that, and so I was a huge New Age Outlaws fans, and still remember their intro and their theme song. And so the
Yep.
Acclaimed are one of those that you're always going to remember some of their punchlines, some of their things they do.
Their entrance gets you
Yeah,
off your feet. You hear
that
the
siren.
siren, and everybody's off their feet, right? I mean,
That
that's a
siren is
great
just like the "Oh, you
you
didn't
didn't
know."
know.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
You're right, dude. I
The
love that.
Acclaimed better call
That's
somebody.
a great comparison by you. In the ring, but showman's that's a very and they have that kind of potential, dude. They could there's no reason why these guys can't have a tag title run
You're right.
and get over crazy, right? I mean, how often have we talked about it? Their charisma as heels, they could become baby faces, and that's something. I mean, props to them.
Yes, absolutely, man. This was a great way to end on a good high note. But to answer your question really quick before we start wrapping up, is it would be hard to see a team like or Jurassic Express, as much as I like them and I think highly of them, to give Sting and Darby the loss. If you need to grant that, the whole undefeated stuff in AEW, you really need to you need to treat that special. You need to treat that tag
Jade,
team,
you're right.
loss special. You need to treat CM Punk's loss special. Brian Danielson's
Adam Cole,
was very special. Adam Cole special. Jade, like you need to treat that
it's
special.
true.
And if you're invested in Jurassic Express, if you're invested in their run, do that to them. But if
Mhm.
you are not, don't do that to them. I don't think that Jurassic Express right now is ready for the victory over Sting and Darby Allin yet.
Well,
Potentially, yes,
that's why I
but
think
not
that
yet.
program against the Ass Boys is going to be so good, right? Because you know the
Yes.
Gun Club, there's a lot of potential, like you said, in the trios format, and they're really good at being at the shenanigans and getting under your skin. I think that
Yeah.
there's plenty to work off of there, and they can eat an L because they've had so many wins over the course. Their win-loss record is still incredible. So, I like where your head's at. Sting and Darby eventually, like, I think that they do need to have a title shot at some point. But I agree,
Agree.
it's not right now.